everybody? This your boy D Money. We on another podcast, a lot of fashion podcasts that is. And what we're going to talk about today is the theme of your pop up. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that way y'all can stay tuned to what we got going on here at Dreams of Rulers. We will be posting a lot of fashion, you know, podcasts each Sunday at 10 a.m. So make sure that you stay tuned and tapped in. So, like I said, the topic for today is the theme for your pop up, and the first thing that I want to get into is what is the purpose of a pop up event or shop anyway? Pretty much the purpose of that is to gain attention, customer engagement, gain consumer information on buying habits and demographics based on the products or services that you provide for your target audience. Um, so pretty much you want to make sure that you have a display table or a setup to where it engages the customer, shows them your brand message and mission, also helps you to engage with the customer. You don't want to be sitting down, while you're having your pop-up event. You want to be moving around, engaging with as many people as possible. You don't want to look lazy because that's only going to deter the customer or audience from viewing what you have to offer at your table or, your whole setup. Um, the next thing that we're going to get into is how to start to plan your next event. Now, first and foremost, when you are planning, the best thing to do is to create a mood or theme board for the event that you plan on having. Now, what I like to do is I create the mood board in my head, but I'll try to look at different things on social media as far as different pop-up events, different things that people might use as far as utensils, different things that they use to help engage the consumer with providing different information for subscriptions and things of that sort. Um, Also, different displays, decors that they have at their event is pivotal as well too. These are some of the things that you want to have on your mood board, so that way you can actually start to break down different events that you plan on having, as well as that align with your brand message and vision. The next thing is form a list of things needed for a successful event. Um, for your successful event, not necessarily a successful event, because you do things completely different than everybody else does. You have to have that mindset when you are planning your events, and you got to start looking at different things that people are doing so that way you can differentiate from that. Um, the next thing is create a budget. What I like to do is once I have formalized, what I need, then I like to create the budget, because then I know exactly how much each product is going to cost, each, utensil, whatever inventory is going to cost altogether. So that way I can actually figure out the next thing, which is how many people I will need at this event in order to at least break even or make a return. That would also help me, because if number one, I plan on selling tickets at this event, that will help me gauge how much I need to sell the ticket prices for. Also, just understanding an estimated crowd amount of people that will be there, who you also want to target in that demographic of people that you want to show up at your event. The next thing is finding a venue space. Once you have done all these things on the list, the next thing that is most important is finding a venue space, because once you find the venue space, then you also want to be able to gauge exactly how many people are going to be able to be in that area for the whole time period of your event. Um, and like I said, depending on how nice the venue is as well too, that also will help you gauge on how much your ticket prices, if you plan on selling tickets, will be as well too. The last thing I would like to say is decide on a solo event. Whether you're going to have other vendors there as you host this event, or if it's just going to be a full-on partnership and you plan on having vendors there. It's just a matter of gauging how you are going to do things, whether you're going to need sponsorship, additional help planning this whole thing and putting it together. It's just a matter of understanding your plan to the fullness and understanding how you're going to execute properly. I just wanted to pretty much tap into these things because these are all important things that you're going to need in order to make your event successful. Also for your audience and other people that are, going to be there, make it an experience of a lifetime to where they're going to want to come back as well too. So make sure that you stay tuned to our Lot of Fashion podcast for our next part in this preparing for a pop-up series where we'll actually start to divulge in on the behind the scenes, how we actually start to put together our inventory and things of that sort. So, like I said, stay tuned next week. We'll be back and keep visualizing your purpose. All it takes is a solid plan, execution, strategy. Keep visualizing. I'm out.